Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm glad you came and watched this video, so please hit the subscribe button, help me out. And at the end of the video, if you enjoyed it, leave me a comment or like it. I prefer you did like it more than comment, but you know, whichever one takes your fancy, but please hit the subscribe button. As I record this one, we're up to 130 subscribers here, so I've got 870 people to go, so please just help me out and hit the subscribe button once, you know, and just keep it there. You don't have to watch another video ever again, just subscribe for me. Anyway, this is a strange commander deck today. This is not something I ever expected to do, and it is, well, you know what the name of the creature is, so I'm not going to even bother talking about it any further. It's Graaz, the Unstoppable Juggernaut. 8 mana for a 7/5 legendary artifact creature Juggernaut. Juggernauts you control attack each combat if able. Juggernauts you control can't be blocked by walls. And other creatures you control have base power and toughness 5/3 and are Juggernauts in addition to their other types. It's a weird one because it's colourless. I've done something since I started doing the YouTube channel last April. I think I'm in somewhere in the region of 230-ish videos on here. Most, I would guess, a good 90% of them are deck techs. There are some stream replays, but most of it's deck techs. And I think this is only the second time I've ever covered a colourless creature in that time at all. But I really want to do this one from Phyrexia or will be one because it is just so much fun. Now, down below, you can find the link to my Twitch stream. You can go there and watch the replay. I did play this a while back on the stream one night, but I have seriously updated it since then because I figured there were some things I was missing from that deck, and I was trying to keep on the Juggernaut theme, and I've had to change it a little bit. I have still got one of every Juggernaut I could find on MTGO in the deck, though, so, you know, don't shoot me yet, but some of the cards have changed. So, we'll start, like I usually do, looking at the mana base and the ramp side of things. Yeah, it's every single colourless land you could think of. Loads and loads and loads of wastes. You know, just put them there. One of each of the Urza's lands, because there's no point not playing them. Temple of the False God, Shrine of the Forsaken God, Sanctum, Rogue's Passage, Reliquary Tower, Mishra's Factory, so on and so forth. I will point out that I do have Field of the Dead in here. I think I figure I might need some blockers. But what I will say is, if you've got Field of the Dead and it makes zombies, they become 5/3 black zombies. So landfall for a 5/3 with Field of the Dead. Yeah, okay. That I can definitely cope with. The rest of the ramp's a little bit different. Not really. I haven't got any of the suspend cards in here because we need to be getting the ramp out early. So we've got Mana Crypt, we have got Mana Vault, we have got Soul Ring. We have got some other things that I will find in a minute because I've forgotten where they are now. For the Thran Dynamos, they're replicating rings here. And probably the most key mana ramp card you can have in an artifact deck is Metal Worker. And yes, it is in the deck. Yes, that is the reason we have Swiftfoot boots in the deck, is to protect it, because we need this to stay alive to get the ramp on. So the rest of it, what you've got to remember with this is we are basically, every creature we get becomes a 5/3. And there's a lot of interesting choices in here. Like I say, I have updated this deck significantly since we did this, since I played it on stream. So it's a little bit different. But we'll start at the beginning. Memnite, Ornithopter, Phyrexian Walker, Shield Sphere. Yes, Shield Sphere's got defenders who can never attack, but it does give you a nice 5/3 blocker. But these guys all become 5/3 attackers that you don't have to pay any mana for. Not going to complain about that. Elixir of Immortality's here because, you know, people do play artifact removal. Therefore, we're probably going to end up with a lot of our artifacts in our graveyard at some stage. We need to get them back somehow into our library. This is the only way to do it in colourless I could find. Mere Scrapling, Signal Pest, and Universal Automaton are here because they're cheap. They cost 1. Signal Pest gives you a little bit of a bonus. But they're here because they're 1-cost manas, you know, which we can make 5/3s. We have a tiny bit of removal and spatial contortion, so hopefully we can get someone with this. And our alternate win condition is Altar of Dementia for this deck. Now hopefully we're going to win by beating people up with 5/3s, but if we can't, if someone's playing, you know, lots of propaganda type effects or some way of stopping you attacking and they haven't got hexproof, we're just going to be sacking our big things, hoping to find the Elixir of Immortality as soon as possible and milling them out, because, you know, it doesn't take many 5/3 creatures to mill through a 100-card deck. Well, 20-ish, yeah. But you know what I mean. Automated Artificers here for some ramp. Metallic Mimic is one of the key cards in the deck, basically because it does become a Juggernaut itself, and it makes all your Juggernauts bigger. So bear it in mind when you play the Mimic. Mine Worker, because if we're playing these ones, we might as well have the things that go and work in them. So we've got all three in here. There's the Mine Worker, gain a life. So this is a nice way of getting around the whole you must attack. You can just tap it to gain a life. So not the end of the world. Retriever to bring anything back that gets killed. Patchwork Automatum as well, just to make sure that when we cast artifact spells, this gets big and big and big and big and big. And the Ward 2 really helps. Steel Overseer to pump all our artifact creatures. Thought Vessel I've mentioned, Swiftfoot Boots I've mentioned, ramp here. Chief of the Foundry. Yep, other artifact creatures you control get +1/+0. Thank you very much. I will cope with that all day long. Cultivator's Caravan is one I'm on the border with it. It's a nice way to ramp, but I'm not sure it's 100% needed, but I'm leaving it in for now. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We don't ever have to crew it, we can just use it as another mana. Foundry Inspector makes all artifacts, creatures, or spells cost less, but be careful. You do want to try and keep this alive if you can, and with Graaz in play, it will be attacking. But, it swings and roundabouts, take your risk. Golem Factory. Yep, I am casting artifact spells all day long. I will be getting charge counters on here all day long, and I will be removing charge counters to make 5/3 attacking creatures when Graaz is in play. So, yeah, bit of a brainless card here from Scars of Mirrodin, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Introduction to Prophecy, colourless manipulation in the top of your library. Yes, it costs more than any of the other coloured ones do, but it's colourless. It does go in any deck. Don't forget, you can actually just play lessons in your deck. Just remind you of that. The Liberator is here as well. Giving all our artifacts abilities flash. We can flash this in the end of someone's turn, hopefully have enough mana to flash some other things in and make this a really big attacking flyer. Even with Graaz in play, my understanding, if I remember the rules correctly, is this becomes a 5/3 with flyer with a load of +1/+1 counters on it, because they don't lose the ability. Metalworker, the key ramp card in the deck. Nuisance Engine, it gives us a nice way of making 2 mana, make a 5/3. Thank you. Ram Roller attacks each turn if able, and it gives you +2/+0 as long as you control another artifact. So this can technically become a 7/3 because you will control another artifact. Replicating Ring is here for a specific reason. I'll come to it. It's one of the Juggernauts. Needs snow mana, so hence why I've put this in. Staff of Domination, gain a bit of life. Untap one of our Juggernauts if we need a blocker, and untap the staff, keep doing it. Eventually we should be able to keep everything untapped as well, hence why it's here. Thran Spider gives us a Power Stone, which helps us cast it, because obviously we're playing an artifact deck. And then Tower Worker, the second one of the workers, is here, it taps for mana, and if you've got all three of them in play, you get 3 mana from it, which is nice from my point of view. Font of Mythos, it was a toss-up between this and Howling Mind. I got greedy, and I was hoping I'd kind of have our dear friend Liberator here to flash it in at the end of someone's turn before my turn, so I get the first couple of extra draws from it. So that's why it's here, but if I have to play it, I have to play it. Galvanic Juggernaut, creatures will be dying, you will be untapping it. Just be aware that this looks really good at 5/5, but with Graaz in play it does become a 5/3, so it's that side of it's a little bit down. The other Juggernaut, Goblin War Wagon, you have to pay 2 to untap it, which isn't hard if we've got Metal Worker in play. Johira's Familiar is another way of cutting down the cost of our artifacts. It's 4 mana to become a 5/3 flyer that makes everything else cost 1 less, so yeah. Obviously it's a Juggernaut deck, you've got to have the original Juggernaut. I know this wasn't the original printing, but I couldn't find the original printing, but this was, Dominaria remastered, so bear it in mind. Khan Living Legacy may be at home in this deck. Making the Power Stones is lovely. And then, if you can get the -7 off, tap an untapped artifact you control, ping something. Gives you another win condition, but you've got to get to the 7. But you're going to be mainly making Power Stones to ramp up to some of the bigger stuff. Lodestone Golem, upset your opponents, play this. Your spells don't change cost, everyone else costs 1 more. Mystic Forge. I'm glad this was printed in Brothers War because it was a bit pricey on MTGO before then. But you may cast artifact spells and colourless spells from the top of your library. Yeah. It's a very nice little combo with all the artifacts we've got going on. Altarian Juggernaut can't be blocked by walls with Graaz in play, this can become on the attack a nice 8-3, so people do get upset by it quite quickly. Solemn Sim, just go and find a waste and draw a card. Thran Dynamo I've mentioned as ramp. Dark Steel, Juggernaut's indestructible. Power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts you control. Yeah, not 100% sure how this works. I think it gets stuck at a 5-3 when Graaz becomes into play, so you know, maybe a card you may not want to play, but I want to play Juggernauts. It's a Juggernaut deck at the end of the day. The Forge Master's here, because why wouldn't you have the Forge Master in an artifact deck where you want to go and get artifacts into play? You can sack some of the weak ones off and go and get something that's really going to help. Oh, look, yeah, there's Dark Steel Forge, yeah. Power Plant Worker is also here. You've got to have all three in. Getting the 3 mana to make this, give this some +1/+1 counters is quite easy as well, because you know, at the end of the day, if you've got to pump it just for the +2/+2 until the end of turn, it's okay. Siege Slayers, not many artifact creatures that you're going to be able to block or come back card block. But there are some going around at the moment, so it's worth having it in. And it's another Juggernaut. Like I said, I did try and play all the Juggernauts. Phyrexian Snow Crusher is the reason we have the replicating ring in here, because we do want the Snow mana eventually, just to pump this up. It'd be nice if we had a way of doing the trample, but never mind. Just keep attacking with things. Ugin Ineffable. Now, this is one you do need to be aware of. Colourless spells you cast cost 2 less. That's fine. It cuts down the cost of all our creatures. But the +1 is very interesting, because you can +1 it, and if you've got Graaz in play, you get a 5/3 spirit token, and then when it dies, you get wherever the card is back in your hand. It's also quite nice that you can do the -3 and blow up everyone else's stuff, because yours isn't coloured. Speaking of things destroying things that are coloured, here's All Is Dust. That makes perfect sense in this deck, I'm sure you'll agree. Barricade Breaker gives you improvise, so you can tap your artifacts. If you want to save something, you know, if you've had to turn your your Metallic Mimic or your, wherever it is, completely lost it, Metal Worker into a Golem, you can tap it to cast this. You know, improvise helps. Trisk Ivalus, which I can't say, and Pentifus are both here for one very simple reason. Comes into play with 5 counters on it. You can then hopefully, with Graaz in play, remove all those counters and get 5, in Pentifus's case, colourless, flying, 5/3 Juggernauts. Trisk does the same thing. But this only comes in with 3 counters on it. But it does stay in play itself, so, you know, comes in with 3 +1/+1s. So if you've got Graaz in play, it is an 8/6. And you can remove the counters to make some more 5/3s that fly. Why would you not want to? Speaking of things, Maelstrom Colossus is here. Yes, it's not a Juggernaut, it becomes a Juggernaut. Yes, you lose the 7/7 bit of it, but you do get to do the whole cascade trick. I would imagine you were expecting to see the other version of Ugin in this deck as well. You can just mindless exit as soon as it comes into play and clear the board, and you'll be left with all your nice artifacts, which are hopefully 5/3s ready to pound your opponents into the dust. Dark Steel Forge I've already talked about. Just to finish off the last 2 cards. Mycosynth Golem. Affinity for artifacts. Yeah, okay, we've got all artifact decks. This is going to come down early. And then it gives all artifact creature spells you cast have affinities for artifacts. You can do some seriously silly things with this card once it hits play, and it is a really good thing to put the boots on, just to give it that hexproof, because you will just literally empty your hand with this. So bear that in mind. Likewise, Hangerback Walker is here because we are going to be putting +1/+1 counters on it a lot. And then when it dies, we're going to get all those lovely flying 5/3 Juggernauts. It does make a lot of sense. That's it, really. That's my take on it. Now, obviously, down below in the description, hopefully you've seen there's a link to my Twitch. You can go and have a look there. There's a VOD there where I played Graaz a while back. But the deck that I played on the stream in this deck is completely updated now. So this will be played on stream at some stage very soon. So, yeah, go and follow me on Twitch as well, and you can watch me play it. And if you've got an MTGO account, you're more than welcome to come and challenge me on the game. But that's it. I really do hope you've hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It's helping me out. I've been doing this now for 10 months, so I'm averaging 13 followers a month, which isn't bad, but I'm hoping it will get there at some stage, so please hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you think there's any artifacts I've missed or any god or juggernauts you think should be in the deck I haven't put in. And keep your eyes out for some more videos. And take care, and thank you for watching this today. And hopefully I'll meet you on stream at some stage in the future. Take care. Bye.